bad it was last year. Like these people, like these were people that were. This is a ISIS rest. These are people. This is a protester. That this is a vandalizer terrorist, right? I mean, what's going on with this? Look at this. Yeah. Worse than the BLM looting? I don't know. I think they're both bad. Like, I don't really have an opinion about, like, which one's worse. Like, I don't think there's really a point of discussing which one's worse. I think they're both bad. So, yeah. Why is it always university kids that are stupid with these protests? They support terrorism and then the next generation are we doomed? No, because they usually get older and realize that they were stupid and then start voting in a more reasonable way. I think that it's mainly young people that are very privileged that want to have a cause to fight for because they think about people that grew up, you know, in like previous ages. Like, you know, you have like the civil rights era and these people were protesting for that. And then you had, you know, obviously like, you know, fucking, what was it? Like any sort of like slavery stuff or any sort of racism. And I think there's one other thing that happened with that as well. So I think that's really what happens the majority of the time, right? Ultra left-wing teachers, they LARP as activists. Yeah, they're LARPing as activists. Most of these people didn't really care. And they think they're going to get away with it. But either way, yeah, so they're basically revoking a bunch of people. Colombia has reportedly just expelled the president of the Grad Student Union for his arrests and the encampment and building takeover last spring. Columbia University has announced expulsions, multi-year suspensions, and degree revocations over the violent takeover of Hamilton Hall last spring. This is what happens when the federal government finally holds the universities accountable. Now, I think this is a huge W. I have no problem with peaceful protests, but you don't peacefully protest with a hammer. You don't. That's not how it works. And so if you bring a hammer to the peaceful protest, you have just disqualified yourself from peaceful protesting. Were the police, by the way? Well, they were trying to get into the building, right? And so, yeah, it's that simple. And what did Trump do? Pardon his terrorist? Two-Faced? Yeah, I guess so, right? People always like bring up January 6th as if this wasn't bad. So anyway, it looks like university statement. So this is what Columbia said themselves. Today, Columbia University Judicial Board. This is probably the other reason why they're protesting. The Columbia University Judicial Board determined that findings and issued sanctions to students ranging from multi-year suspensions, temporary degree revocations, and expulsions related to the occupation of Hamilton Hall last spring. With respect to other events taking place last spring, the UJB's determinations recognized previously imposed disciplinary action. The return of suspended students will be overseen by Columbia University Life Office. Columbia is committed to enforcing university rules and policies and maintaining our disciplinary procedures, probably, right? This should come as a surprise to literally no one.
Wonders out there in the cosmos.
Really, this should be a surprise to no one. This place was violently taken over by activists that were, again, these people, they're protesting with hammers and breaking out windows. I'm sorry, but like, I have no problem with them getting around. This is, I think this is from like last year or something, right? There's something else. But I have no problem with any of these people like sitting around and protesting and doing it lawfully, right? Sitting outside, talking about it, gathering there. But this right here, this is just destruction of property. Yeah, these are hammers of peace. I don't think so, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're hammers of peace, guys. Man. I don't think so at all.
You could offer your opinion on my designs, Peter.
Really? I'd be honored. And I promise I won't get any webs on.
Yep, broken windows and empathy. I guess so. Self-deportation.
3, 2,
So yeah, they destroyed tons of property. They were inside the building. They weren't complying with police officers. And ultimately, you know, Columbia University is not their own personal playground. It's not their place to tell people that we're going to break into this building and not allow you to come into it, just as a very, very baseline, simple perspective. And you think about probably collectively the millions of dollars this costs the university to repair all of this stuff, to clean up all the damage, to get like to process police reports and like, you know, talk to the police, the energy that takes, the time that takes. You have all of that, and then you also have like painting over the graffiti. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then also you have some people that don't want to go to Columbia now. The university is now dangerous, right? You have dangerous people that have taken it over. I think that's a big thing. Also losing donations from big Jewish donators.
Still more work to be
Well,
done.
yeah, I mean, like, and I think it's really not that surprising. I mean, if you're a Jewish person,
Reed Richards,
and
ready for adventure.
the problem is that a lot of these people, and they've done literally no favors to themselves with this topic at all. These people have done no diligence, and they have taken no effort whatsoever to distinguish themselves from anti-Semitic terrorists. So, big surprise that, you know, Jewish people might not necessarily want to support a group or a university that is actively allowing people to advocate for what they believe to be their eradication. Big surprise. If I was them, I wouldn't give them any fucking money either. Like, I put myself in their shoes. Yeah, WTake, yeah. Why the fuck would you give these people a bunch of money if they're letting these clowns take over the university, and some of these clowns are supporting an organization that wants to destroy you and wants to kill you and says, like, oh, all Jews are bad, a curse upon the Jews. If I see that, and I'm a fucking Jew, I'm gonna be offended. I'm gonna be like, you know what? I don't want a curse on me. I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here. What the fuck? Yeah, it's common sense. How do we get here? It's nuts. It is. It's so fucking obvious. So yes, I'm really, really glad to see this happening. This is a massive W. Yeah.
For tolerating that.
Yeah.
The administration and the faculty of Columbia, they're a bunch of virtue cracks and moral snobs. They believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass the Jewish people. And the American people have given Columbia hundreds of millions of dollars. We just wait.
They did the same thing with Jewish people that people did with Asians in COVID. You remember all those videos of these like dumb racist people harassing Asians? It's like just because with the amazing Spider-Man. I mean, it doesn't mean like you're an Israel fucking operative. It's crazy. Like, and it's Chinese people too. They're like, oh, it's in China. Like, I remember
The area's almost yours.
there were people that were conspiracy theory about when that Chinese girl Kaisi came and she was in Austin. I was hanging out with her, and they thought that she was like a CCP agent or something like that. They were like, well, yeah. So they're is it true that the CCP is sending in pretty young Chinese girls in order to compromise our American streamers and American influencers? And like they had like all these examples of it, of like guys dating Asian girls, basically. Half of the Asian girls, by the way, weren't even Chinese, but it doesn't matter. Like, yeah. And I was thinking to myself, please let this be true. Please, please, please. I love China. Yes, okay, guys. Yeah, that's what they want you to think. That's what I want to believe. That's what I want to think. Yeah, I hope so, right? Please compromise me. And so anyway, this happened, and it's just another, in my opinion, it's another flavor of that. It's another flavor of, xenophobic generalizing on people that aren't even, like, a lot of these people, like, these are people like, oh yeah, I'm Chinese, yeah, I went there 2 times for like a week to visit my family. Okay, yeah, but the rest of the time you're in America? Yeah, you're mainly American, let's be honest. And so anyway, but like, yeah, it's totally fucking different. Yeah, exactly, yeah, 100%.
Victor's meddling in the Times.
We've been better off taking that money and spending it on scratch tickets and blackjack.
Yeah.
And this insanity has got to stop. And I'm proud of the president. And I'm proud of Secretary
The battle
Rubio
starts in 5,
for saying we've had
3.
Yeah, bro,
Two,
these people are wilding
one.
out, man. They really are, and they're
All you need
violent.
to
That's
do
the
is capture
problem,
the
is that they're
mission area.
violent.
Got it?
And that's really what the issue is. And over half of Columbia University's enrollment is now foreign students.
Over half of Columbia's enrollment is foreign students, and they're the ones, of course, who pay tuition. Yeah. And so of the general study student population. And that raises 2 questions. One, why is the American taxpayer, the Freepress reported that, $400 million in federal grants have been yanked? Why are American taxpayers paying to educate people who aren't Americans. And two, it raises this question about immigration and which way the cultural exchange is going.
So the other day, 2 days ago, I do believe, right? This is Wednesday. So I think on Monday, Harvard froze hiring.
Damn.
What do you make of that? How do you read that?
You know, it's interesting because a lot of these federal grants go to the hard sciences. So the professors who are supporting the protesters, supporting, you know, BDS resolutions, saying, you know, screw it to the administration, they're not the ones who are going to get pinched by the fact that Trump is pulling grant funding. So you're going to see a civil war within the universities of the serious researchers saying, hey, we just want to do our research. We don't want to get, you know, in this, you know, fight with the administration over this, versus the ones who say, no, this is the hill we're going to
Has arrived.
Well, they're gonna die on
This
it.
should limit any damage.
I'll tell you that. I mean, this kind of crazy fucking political shit, especially like supporting terrorist shit. Yeah, that's fine. And oh my fucking god, taxpayer grants to the universities with $1 billion endowments. Yeah, exactly. Well, why are we paying? And that's a good question, right? Why are we paying a bunch of money to educate people that aren't even from our country when people here can't even afford it, right? I think that's definitely true. Demanding Palestinian Columbia University move meal into U.S. funds to Israel. Why are they? What I don't understand is that why are they protesting at the college? Shouldn't they protest at like a government building? Because the government are the ones that took this guy. Columbia University doesn't mess with the amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe that's just me, right? But shouldn't they go to, like, apparently the guy's being held in Louisiana or something like
This
that?
should limit any damage.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be inconvenient. I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And, man. Let's see if there's any more of this. Guns are all over the place. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there is more of this, actually. NYPD officers. Oh, shit. At least I can find this here.
I assure you I took no pleasure in that, Peter.
And this is an hour ago as well.
This should come in handy.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of this is the same shit I saw before.
Amazing Spider-Man!
Yeah, I mean, so far I totally support this. I mean, I disagree with it, but I support it. Does that make sense?
Don't mess with the Amazing Spider-Man!
Yeah, this is fine. Nothing wrong here.
We've been discovered.
Yeah, it'll turn violent. Well, when it does, then I'll stop supporting it. But I don't think it's fair to, while a student walkout was expected inside Columbia University, according to protest flyers, the campus appears to be quiet. So nobody walked out of the class. Yeah, big surprise. I mean, the thing is that the people that do this are, in a lot of cases, like some of these people have been like extremely violent and like aggressive and like hostile. And most people just want to go to school and deal with this and just not have to think about it, right? Like, yeah, they gotta go to class, right? I mean, what the hell is this? So you have people that are being violent and doing this stuff.
Which hero do you
That's
think
it.
you wanna be
Don't
today?
support, tolerate. Well, I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but I think that that's my point.
You
So
don't
yeah, it
have
looks
to
like
be a
the
witch to
student
find the
walkout.
magic in this world, but it does help.
Well, they're walking out. Well, there is a walkout. They're walking
Okay.
out from one
Which
class
heroes
probably
will get
to
my
another
cosmic
class.
favor today?
So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, right? Sure is a lot of walking. Yeah, I guess that's what's happening. There's a lot of reports that find out a bunch of the student protesters weren't even students. Well, I could have told you that. Easily, I could have told you that. Because the reason, and here's the reason why. It's because the student protesters, like, for example, I remember
Pick
there were
your hero.
interviews with some of these
Or villain.
protesters,
I'm
and they
not
asked,
judging.
like, you
I'm not
know,
anyone's
what do you think
sidekick.
about these topics?
What I do is
and
best
these people
done
didn't know
alone.
anything about them at all. So that's really what it is. Yeah, they had no idea what the hell they were talking about to begin with, and they're just sitting up there starting trouble, being mad because that's what they like to do. That's really the reason. That's mainly it. Yeah, it's actually that simple. Shocker. Yeah, I know, man. Y'all didn't even go to college. Shut the fuck up. I mean, I don't think you need to go to college to have an opinion on this, right? I mean, do you? And so this is the police here. So
The battlefield
they're
may
ready.
change, but the war
they raid
never
prep
ends.
for this. Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because they had to deal with this shit
30
last
seconds
year.
before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah. Yeah, big surprise.
I'll
Yeah,
do
they
what's
already
needed
dealt
to
with this
win
last
this,
year. They're not letting this
even
thing
if it
happen
does
again.
mean taking out
Absolutely.
former allies.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, they're getting ahead of it. Yeah, it's smart.
I can handle the time entanglement. There have been alternate versions
No, let
of
me
me
see if I can find
forever.
another one. I've got no problem with people protesting and like doing it legally, but you have like people that are violent or anything like that. You know, if this, because the thing is, like, there's a chance that at like 9 p.m. tonight or like 11 p.m. tonight, you could have these people turn up and start trouble. But right now, it seems like that's not happening. But yeah, Colombia's kicking a lot of the people out that started the trouble, and I think that's a great thing. It really is. And I'm very glad finally we're starting to see, because like I saw a tweet that I agreed with, and this is the thing. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Conservative reporters are getting murdered as kids. Journalists are being swatted. Figures are getting death threats, assassination threats. DOJ needs to do something about the extreme uptick in domestic leftist terrorism. I think this is true.
I always come back.
And there's been a lot of like just straight up fucking terrorism. And you gotta stop these people and hold them accountable. Libs of TikTok. Well, I understand it's a biased source, but I agree with what they're saying here. I do. And I think that, especially like the burning down Teslas and shit like that, that's crazy. Like, who does that? Really? Who the fuck does that? That's crazy.
If you are Eastern Asian, living outside of your country or just visiting, I'm pretty sure you have experienced some random people say, "Ni hao" to you, even you are not Chinese. I have it.
Yeah, that was a wow. It was a wow video. It was a wow music video. I remember that.
Many people think it's okay.
But it was a wow music video about Chinese gold. So it's Chinese.
Even we are authentic. And I mean, Japanese got giant Ni hao from Ubisoft. Of course. The first of all, boba tea is not from Japan.
Korea, right?
So they are doing a campaign with like boba tea, and it's from Taiwan. And actually, we started having that pretty late, like 2018 or 19, and we don't drink that anymore. It was.
I didn't even hear about it for a long time. I thought boba tea. I thought somebody just meant to say booba. I thought they just spelled it wrong because they're stupid. I didn't even know it was real until like 3 years ago.
Just like a tiny trend. But for some people, the Ubisoft boba tea, for some reason, very associated to Japan.
Because it's Asians and Asians like boba tea, right? That's obviously what it is.
Assassin's Creed Shadow Digital Deluxe Edition. This is horrible. Let's watch this. So this is a Digital Deluxe Edition, meaning people who have
That's
played
the
this
one that you spend more money for.
paid extra.
Yeah.
I really don't think they can sell this.
Okay, here we go. How's Ni hao offensive? I think it's the presumption of a person's ethnicity. That's the idea. So, what's this?
What the fuck is this? Sekiryu Beast. Sekiryu, I mean, I guess Red Dragon?
Red Dragon?
That's the one worst character design I've ever seen. And
You know what this looks like? I'm gonna say it. This looks like a mount from New World. Yeah, I went there.
And please don't say this is Japan. There's no Japanese aesthetics here. Nothing about Assassin's Creed Shadow is Japan. After that dragon, this looks kinda nice. Nicer, but it's horrible. And it said dragon and dragon. It said dragon and a dragon.
When Doom
And a
sees
dragon.
me, he's gonna be shaking in his faceplate.
This was made by white
Check this place
people.
My path may be pretty cloudy.
It's so obvious this was made by white
Future
people.
is pretty clear.
Oh god.
The battle starts in 5.
It looks like the BB gun.
3,
Do you know?
2,
I like the
Yeah.
BB gun when I was a
All you
child.
need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
French people?
What's
yeah.
this teeth?
Did they have one?
This definitely reading Japanese.
Oh my god.
Is this cool?
It's okay, I guess.
To my eyes, Japanese. This is not Japanese.
Armed and dangerous!
It's just
Even like this background has kind of Ukon vibe. There's a lot of comments from Japanese. It's saying, but translation is wrong.
I don't have any intention of hiding.
It's saying they don't have any intention of hiding the Chinese elements.
Well, to them, like, you have to understand that this is just a bunch of white people doing this, right? It's kind of screaming China, though. Well, I'll tell you this. If I saw this and you asked me what country is this from, I would say China. I
The
would.
BGM also feels like it was taken from China. I agree. See, all Japanese comments are negative. I'm really wondering how many Japanese people make reservations. Let's check. Actually, it's not that bad. Today, March 7th, 600 ports in past month.
That's not good. 600? Didn't they say this game was $400 million and you're buying it for like 80 bucks? So 600 times 80, I don't think that's anywhere near 400 million.
A lot, actually. How about Monster Hunter? Oh, that's a lot. It was 200. Oh, 80K.
See, that's the difference. 600 versus 80,000. Okay, see, they might make their money back, right?
How about Yakuza?
Can't wait to dude. Yakuza? Yeah.
8K. Okay.
Wait, so even Pirate Yakuza got 8K? Well, wait a minute. So if I think about this, Pirate Yakuza didn't even do super well on Steam. It only hit a peak of 2,000 players. So if 8,000 people bought it within the past month, and or sorry, yeah, 22,000. Sorry, not 2,000, 22,000. Excuse me. Console has a lot of players for Yakuza.
Dangerous!
Okay.
PlayStation 4 5K. Steam. Okay, it doesn't show. But
yeah.
600 is, to me, it's pretty high.
600 is
right?
pretty
I mean,
low.
it's low compared to other game, but
It's low compared to any other game. It's like literally getting mogged by a spin-off game.
I think it's pretty
You
high.
captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Stand down! Again!
My friends are here!
Oh, I thought he was killing a villager for a minute.
And I really want to know what they're doing.
Yeah. I wanted to check.
Wait, this flag, to me, to my eyes.
Would you guys say this is more like China or more like Japan if you guys saw this?
The area's almost yours.
China. Everybody says China, right? It's a Chinese dragon. Yeah,
Dynasty. No, not Japan. Like, everything looks like a Shin Dynasty, except amount of the fingers. So, little history lesson. So, Chinese dragon have 5. Chinese emperor is the only one who can use 5-finger dragon. So, this is only one accurate thing. But this is Shin Dynasty. Wait. Making Shin Dynasty flag and making dragon with 3 fingers. Is that kind of message or something? Like Japan belonging to China or something?
no. These are people who couldn't even program bullets to despawn after they hit somebody. This isn't some elaborate culture war. This is a bunch of monkeys in a building, and the building's on fire, and the only thing that they have to put it out is gasoline. That's what it is. Yeah, they're just dumb. Like, yeah, this isn't the. There's not some kind of like grand design to this. Is stupid.
What's going on? I started feeling
Which
scared.
hero do you think you want to be today?
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world. But it does help.
You serious? It's China. Of course you do boba tea for campaign.
Okay.
Boba tea is also China.
Favor today.
Alright. Yeah, soundtrack sounds
10
very
plus hours.
Chinese. And this looks like a nice for Ugo. Yeah, it looks
Taiwan?
like a
That's
nice
what I
map
said.
for Ugo. 10 hours of additional gameplay in this map. Good business.
So you get 10 more hours of gameplay if you just buy the deluxe
Pick
edition.
your
So
hero.
let me get this
Or
straight.
villain. I'm not
So
judging.
now we're releasing video games that are intentionally incomplete in order to upsell people on buying more of the video game. This sucks so much dick, bro. Like, how do we get here? Oh my god, why not? I don't know. Like, maybe I don't even know what to say. The Ubisoft special. Wow.
Sekiryu Joker. Okay.
30 seconds before you attack.
The thing is
Get
that
ready.
what I find really funny about this is that I feel like comparatively, and maybe this is just stereotyping, but I feel like the Chinese internet audience is like fucking super nationalistic, right? Like they are fucking out there. They're like China #1. Fucking like we are the best country in the world. We're so much better than everybody else. And like the Japanese, I feel like they're a lot more reserved, and they're, you know, more like, oh yeah, we're Japan and we like Japan, but you know, they're not like China, bro. They're basically like, again, if there is a tourist that causes problems, there's like an 85% chance. Well, yeah, there's an 85% chance that they're either American or Chinese. And the 15% chance is that they're a kickster. But that's it. Yeah, or maybe a little bit, right? Maybe Russia, but like, no, I think that's it. Yeah, it's one or the other. It's us or China. All these people are causing us trouble, right? And what is this here? And they should be. Meanwhile, we Americans hate ourselves? Well, I don't know. So, like, what I find to be really funny about this is that if this was inverse, can you imagine what would happen if they made an Assassin's Creed game about China and they used a bunch of Japanese imagery? Can you fucking imagine the comments? Oh my god, it would be banned? Yes. Ubisoft Quebec is designing this? Oh, great. So we got a bunch of French fucking Canadians. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was worried about. Of course. Samurai and China. Yeah, Samurai. Chinese fucking Assassin's Creed.
Round and pound.
Put a bunch of samurai in it. Oh god, that's so good. Yeah, there's the video, bro. This guy, I feel like it's so sad because the Japanese in so many ways they're so polite, they're so reasonable. And I can only imagine what it would be like if they did this with China. Oh my god. That would be fucking funny. And funny thing, this game may be banned in China for portraying a dragon. Dude, if they use that,
Put some pep in my step.
oh my god. I don't even know what to say, man. I really don't. They give us more and more reason. Yes, it's just gonna be a slam dunk. I guess so. Good evening, sir. What's up, Cody? How you doing? And next game, Assassin's Creed in China. Yeah, and it's also, if you can believe it, it's just. Yeah, somehow it's the other. It's like the one African person that like came from you know, Africa in like the middle of China, that there's like one reference to them and that's it, right?
They've almost got it.
And so check the Chinese-Taiwanese comments. Well, I have no idea. Yusuke moved to China to continue his. Yeah, he moved to China because he defeated all of the worthy warriors in Japan. And all of the worthy fucking you know,
Once
like
I get you stuck.
drying racks for fucking fish. He destroyed all the worthy bamboo shoots in Japan, so now he's going over to fucking China to defeat Lu Bu.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
And hit Lu Bu and fucking Wukong. Can you imagine that? It would be so good. Mitsuke. Look at that, doing giant Somali in disguise. Yo, what a sacrifice! I know. He time travels as well. Of course he does.
PlayStation has been going under what I can only call a transformative period as of late. After some high-profile flops on Concord and the constant battle between Sony's core titles from an ideological perspective, it's clear that something has to change and is changing in the future. So today, I want to talk PlayStation, Naughty Dog specifically for most of it, and the creator Neil Druckmann, who kind of embodies everything that is plenty wrong with how Western game development has gone. Now his next title, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, just might be his biggest attack on one of the oldest religions in the world, that being Christianity. To start at the beginning, it's clear that Western games and their ideological pushes have not worked. I referenced this piece from a friend of the channel, Francesco Solback of That Park Place. He's been in some of my streams and edited a few videos of mine as well, and his article is titled, Inside Sony's Eternal Battle, a look at the East-West clash dividing Sony and the gaming industry. Francesco details how, based on his insider sources, which he has told me things in the past which I've relayed to all of you and you might use already, that Sony is being restructured behind the scenes. It's all being done by what's called the Samurai Elite. These are the top dogs in Sony. These Japanese men are the top of their echelon when it comes to business and all that sort of stuff, and they've noticed how their gaming division, PlayStation, has been mired in clear ideological warfare for a while now. And I think it's safe to say that the PlayStation 5's life cycle has definitely resulted in less actual hit games as stuff like Concord exists, not to mention all the cancelled multiplayer games from a Last of Us Online game and even a God of War live service game being axed as well. And of course, I can't not bring up Hermen Hulst, who used to run Guerrilla Games, which made Horizon, and how much he has pushed Horizon onto players as he tried to make it into some Last of Us success with Lego spin-offs and pointless remasters and remakes. Although at least the engine that Horizon runs on, which is called Decima, is a genuinely great engine to build games on. In case you didn't know, Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding series runs on that same engine, and he purposely chose that engine after touring Sony's various first-party studios, trying to find the engine that he wanted to use for his games in the future. So don't get it twisted. Good or even great games are still coming to PlayStation. I'm personally very excited for Death Stranding myself, but I can't shake the feeling that there's still this ideology nonsense that is rotting out Sony regardless on their Western fronts. As Francesco states here in his article, many of Sony's first-party offerings have had dwindling success. The Last of Us Part 2 sold 40% less than the first game did, losing 10 million copies against the original 17 million. Even Spider-Man 2 sold 69% less copies than the original. And coincidentally, when you compare Spider-Man 1 to 2, the wokeness, for lack of a better word, is all over that game that was barely present in the original. And Horizon
with the amazing Spider-Man!
Zero Dawn's 20 million. So, what the hell is going on? The problem is that Sony's original approach used to work wonders when making games. In case you don't know, Sony tends to have a rather hands-off approach when it comes to what their first-party studios make. Sure, they may make some demands, but generally speaking, as Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog has confirmed in the past, Sony kind of just believes whatever their creators make will sell.
With the amazing Spider-Man! Mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
And back in the PS2, PS3, or most of even the PS4 era, this was true. There were all kinds of games of various genres being made, but from the late PS4 going into the PS5 era, this did start to change. Coincidentally, this coincided when ESG, or Economic, Social, and Governance funds, began to infiltrate the industry en masse, which is how you got the slop you got from Concord, Suicide Squad, Dustboard, and more. Big money influxes promised the studios to use to make their games, as long as they hired and implemented people of color into leadership roles not based on merit, but simply on their identity alone. This practice has absolutely rotted out other companies like Ubisoft too. Look at their games for the past 5 years and then some, most of it has failed, and now they're resorting to Microsoft to save the best headsets. So I'm pretty sharp in a whole video prior to this one about that very topic. But this now brings me to Naughty Dog, and specifically Neil Druckmann. In case you somehow don't know, Neil is a Jewish man. He has made it evident here that his Jewish heritage has had many influences on his games. And there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, every game or movie made will have the influences of the people who are leading those ships through the waters of creation. I have no issue with that. It makes sense that, of course, Neil's heritage would show up in his work. It's why in Last of Us Part 2, there's an entire part where Ellie and Dina, by the way, Dina is also Jewish because Neil wanted her to be, visit a synagogue while they're on their journey to find Abby and the others, and here's a clip of that.
Got your back!
How can you tell?
Spider Fist is ready to punch!
My sister used to drag me to a synagogue all day. I like coming from the survivors. You mean
Back in the swing of things.
that?
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Holocaust? My family knows me
Neil makes a point to show that Dina being Jewish is an allegory with the Holocaust being used as something to compare to the outbreak of cordyceps, and how the zombies have overrun the planet killing everyone. It's a novel idea to compare the two, but again, this was obviously added because Neil is Jewish. Another video does show that Neil also made it very clear to his developers that nothing within the synagogue could be desecrated either. Check this out.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man! Now I gotcha! Pretty sure those are bad guys.
As you can see, it's impossible to open fire on anything related to the ancestry of Jewish individuals in Last of Us Part 2. Interesting, isn't it? I also found it interesting that one of the two main villain factions of the game, if you will, are the Seraphites, or Scars, as they're usually called in games. Those are the people in the ponchos and jackets that are running around the woods shooting arrows at Ellie, and it's the same faction that Lev, who joined Abby, is a part of as well, originally. And Lev's story, by the way, is that she's a young girl who runs away from the Scars because she doesn't want to be a child bride to an elder Scar member. Lev is also transgender and wants to be a boy, but this is obviously not allowed in Scar's culture. It's very, very obvious that Neil Druckmann took what he perceived as Christianity, something that is not necessarily aligned with his upbringing, and decided to then make it a villainous faction within his zombie. And I'm not the only one who noticed this, since back when The Last of Us Part 2 released, Vice had this article come out around that time titled "The Not So Hated Israeli Politics of The Last of Us Part 2." Let me read you some of this excellent article, and I quote, "The Last of Us Part 2 focuses on what has been broadly defined by some of its creators as a cycle of violence. While some zombie fiction shows either depravity in response to fear or scarcity in the aftermath of an outbreak, The Last of Us Part 2 takes place in a more stabilized post-apocalypse decades after society collapse, where individuals and communities choose to hurt each other as opposed to taking heinous actions out of desperation. More specifically, the cycle of violence in The Last of Us can be largely modeled after the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I suspect that some players who can consciously plot the parallels at all will think The Last of Us Part 2 is a balanced and fair perspective on that conflict, humanizing and exposing flaws on both sides of its in-game analogs. But as someone who grew up in Israel, I recognized a familiar, firmly Israeli way of seeing and explaining the conflict, which tries to appear even-handed and even enlightened, but in practice marginalizes Palestinian experience in a manner that perpetuates a horrific status quo. The game's co-director and co-writer Neil Druckmann, an Israeli who was born and raised in the West Bank before his family moved to the United States, told the Washington Post that the game's themes of revenge can be traced back to